Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Emma and today I'm going to be doing the BookTube Newbie Tag. This is a really cool tag. I actually kind of forgot it existed. I just started uploading videos, so I have 6 videos on my channel I think now. And I realised that I hadn't done the BookTube Newbie Tag and it feels like a rite of passage, so this is me doing it. Before we get into the questions, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about me and what sort of books I read, just so you guys can get a better idea about what my channel is going to be about and a little bit more about me as a person. So I'm actually just starting a new chapter in my life. I just graduated from university in June, so 2 months ago now. I've also just started a new job. I've actually just completed a month at my new job, my first big girl adult job, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I studied maths and physics at university and I graduated from the University of St Andrews. That's actually where Prince William and Kate Middleton went, and that's actually where they met, which was really cool. I made lots of great friends there, and if any of you guys are thinking about checking out that university, definitely leave a comment down below and I can give you some advice. My new job is actually in the sustainability sector, which is really cool. It's a sector definitely still in its infancy and I'm really loving it. I love that I get to make a difference at work and it's something that really makes me happy. I'm hoping to talk a little bit more about climate change and other climate related things on my channel sometimes, so let me know if that's something you guys would be keen to see. In terms of reading taste, I just thought I'd show you guys a snapshot of my recent Storygraph analytics. As you can see, my top genres are romance, historical fiction, classics, young adult and fantasy, but I also read a good amount of contemporary literary fiction and poetry. I also read quite a lot of feminist books, and a lot of the books I read across other genres tend to have a good feminist slant on them, or they tend to be feminist friendly books. So if any of that sounds like your thing, then my channel might be for you. Watch the rest of the video, maybe watch some more, and hopefully stick around. Now to get into the BookTube newbie questions. So question 1 is, why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because I found that I was running out of space for my reviews on my Bookstagram Instagram account. So I started this account in January of this year and I found that it was so nice to have a place just to socialise about books and also vent my feelings a little bit. I also found that it was such a safe place for me. I went through quite a tough time in February, so I ended up turning to that as a bit of an outlet, and surprisingly people actually enjoyed reading me rant about books, and I decided to start this channel when I wasn't able to fully let my feelings out in the size of the Instagram captions. I still do post on Instagram though, if you'd like to give that a follow. I've linked it down below. I tend to do a lot of polls about what videos I should do on there. So question 2 is, what is something unique that you can bring to BookTube? Well, first of all, I think my nationality is probably something unique that I can bring to BookTube. I haven't seen many Scottish booktubers around. Maybe the algorithm's just not my friend and there are tons of them. But if you're a Scottish booktuber, please leave a comment down below. I would love to connect with you and I'd love to see and check out your channel. I thought it would be really nice to bring some of the perspective of my country and my experiences onto my YouTube channel. Also, my job is pretty unique. I work in the sustainability sector, which is obviously such a new area, so I think being able to share a little bit about some books that I've read about climate change and similar topics as to that will be really cool in this channel. I would also consider myself to be a bit of a feminist activist, so that's something that I read a lot of books on and something that I like to discuss a little bit, so I'm excited to share a couple of recommendations from that genre on my channel as well. I also watch a lot of BookTube, which is kind of what led me on to creating a BookTube. I have a lot of great ideas for videos that I wish were on BookTube, but I've not actually been able to find anything similar. So the way I create videos on my channel is I think, wow, I would love to see that video, and chances are maybe there aren't many videos on the topic or there are none at all, so I decide that I'm going to create my own. So I think sort of knowing what I would like on BookTube hopefully will bring a little bit more of a unique spin to my channel. Question 3 is, what are you most excited about on your new channel? And that's a hard question to answer because I'm excited about pretty much everything to do with this channel. I would say I'm most excited about making videos about something that I love and I'm so passionate about, I'm really excited to engage with the community on YouTube and hope that it is just as amazing and welcoming as the Bookstagram community on Instagram. I'm also so excited to have this channel as a creative outlet, to expand my reading tastes and also just have a lot of fun. Question 4 is, why do you like reading? So I've always loved reading. I've loved reading ever since I was 2 years old, which was really young to start. My love of books is also something that really calms me down and grounds me. A book is where I turn to on my hardest days. It's where I turn to for relaxation. It's where I turn to for enjoyment. And it really calms me down. As someone with anxiety, it's a hobby that really helps me. I'm also a firm believer that reading is a great way to gain perspective on a topic. If you have never experienced something in real life, if you have read a book about that feeling, that place, that concept, you're more likely to relate to that in real lives. Readers are the most empathetic people because they walk in other people's shoes for enjoyment. In my experience, they're a whole lot more likely to be able to do that and put themselves in another person's position in real life. So I think reading helps with empathy as well. So there's so many reasons why I love reading. Question 5 is, what book series got you into reading? Since I've been an avid reader since I was very young, the book series that actually probably most got me into reading was the Rainbow Magic Fairy books. I'm going to put one on the screen so that you can see if we shared similar childhood tastes. I remember being so annoyed that there was no Emma Fairy. I think the Emma Fairy must have came out when I was around like 11 or 12, and these are aimed sort of at like 7-year-olds, so I was well out of the age range by the time the Emma Fairy came around. I was always so upset whenever they brought out a new group of books and I couldn't see Emma. I was always so upset. Another series that I would say that got me into reading was Percy Jackson. My dad used to read that to both myself and my younger brother as a bedtime story shortly after my fairy phase finished, and I absolutely loved those books. I still have them and I still read them. Question 6 is, what question would you ask your favourite booktuber? And I don't have a question, but I do have a favourite booktuber. My favourite booktuber is probably Emmy. I always feel like her videos relax me after a long day. I really don't have any particular questions I would ask her. I just think she's really cool and it would be great to be her friend. So I guess the question I would like to ask her really is, can we be friends? Question 7 is, what challenges do you think will be hard to overcome when starting a booktube? And this one is probably an easy answer for me. I work a 9-to-5 job. I also have a relationship, friendships, family, and it can be really hard to find the energy to film sometimes. I love coming up with video ideas, I love coming up with concepts, I love talking about books, but actually having the energy to set up my equipment and then sit down and film and edit can be quite difficult sometimes. I'd say that's probably going to be my biggest challenge, but I just don't let myself fall behind on my filming schedule. I'm really strict about it, and that's what's meant that I've uploaded every 2 p.m. on Saturdays for the past 6 weeks now, I think. But honestly, any feedback you guys have, it means the world to me, and it really keeps me going and fuels that motivation. So if you do like the video, please do like it or leave a comment or something down below. Question 8 is, what kind of books do you like to read? I kind of answered this already at the start because I thought it was one of the more important questions, but I'll answer it again. I love to read books across a lot of genres. For instance, I love Jane Austen, but I also read horror books. I read non-fiction. I also sometimes read erotica. It really just depends on my mood. I'm such a mood reader. I'd say my top 5 books of all time are probably The Bell Jar, The Great Gatsby, Know My Name by Chanel Miller, Hidden Figures, and the Selection series. So quite a range in there, but as you can see, I do quite like my feminist books. Question 9 is, where do you read? I will literally read anywhere. I am a firm believer in the Rory Gilmore method to read more, which is always have a book on you. So I usually am reading an audiobook, an ebook and a physical book at the same time, and depending on the size of my bag and where I'm going, I'll always have access to a book. So I read on my work commutes, I read when I come home, I sometimes stick an audiobook on if I'm cooking or if I'm in the bath. I really like curling up in my bed to read at night. I also have this gorgeous chair that I'm filming in, which is just new from my parents as a present, and I'm really loving it. It's so comfy, and this is probably going to become a nice reading chair for me. And question 10 is, do you read one book at a time or do you read multiple at once? Also, I kind of answered this already, but as I'm such a mood reader, I read so many books at once. I usually have at least 3 books on the go, usually 1 ebook, 1 audiobook and 1 physical book, but most of the time I do end up having 2 physical books on the go. Usually one's a non-fiction or a really long classic, and the other one's something that's a bit lighter, like a romance or a contemporary lit book, possibly even like a play or a poetry collection. So I tend to read probably about 4 books at once. I know some people absolutely hate this and they need to read just one thing at once, but because I read such different things, I tend to not get plots or anything overlapped in my mind, because usually I'm reading like a factual book, a poetry collection, like a romance book and like something else usually. So I tend to not read like 4 romance books at once. I tend to read like 4 different genres of books at once, which definitely helps. Let me know down in the comments if you're more of a one book at a time sort of person, or if you like to read multiple books at once. So that's me all finished the BookTube Newbie Tag. I feel thoroughly welcomed to the community and I'm really excited to be here. If you are also a BookTube newbie, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to connect with you guys and I'd love to see what you guys are posting in your channels. If anyone has any book recommendations for me based on the genres and everything I described in this video, please leave them down below. I'm always looking for more book recommendations, even though my TBR is about 600 books long. I hope you've managed to get to know me a little bit better through this, and I hope you all decide to stick around on my channel. If you've got any questions for me or you just like to chat, definitely leave a comment down below or add my Instagram and shoot me a DM. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video and love you guys!